In section 2.8, we have to learn, understand Ansible, and with help of Ansible, we have to create program, execute those program, do the configuration related to IT infrastructure devices. Now, I'm going to take example related to all these loops that we have to the Nexus switch. But you can see that we can do the configuration related to any of the networking component. Okay, so first of all, these videos will start with the basics of Ansible, how we can do the basic configuration to the switches, and next in these sections related to loop control conditions, variable, etc. I'm going to show you the example related to Nexus. Okay, so first of all, go and watch these 3 videos, and after that we have videos related to Nexus and doing the Ansible Playbook configuration related to Nexus devices. Let's go and do the revision or quick review of how this Ansible work. What are the important concepts inside the Ansible? At this point of time, we know that we have Ansible, we have Puppet and Chef. Ansible is something you can think as a agentless, means you don't need agents to install to the remote server from where you want to take the configuration or from where you want to do the interaction. Ansible is open source, agentless, simple, wide adoption. It is used for configuration management, orchestration, and deployment. Now, the use for Ansible is really huge. And not only that, Ansible is supporting Cisco devices, but it is supporting n number of different vendors and devices. How Ansible interacting? Here you can see in the diagram that you have the user, you have the Ansible, you can think that Ansible library that is termed as an Ansible controller. So inside the controller, you have the Ansible Cfg file. You can go and create inventory, playbook modules, correct? Now, these modules are something that there are so many inbuilt module, and if you know the coding, you can create your modules as well. Now via SSH, obviously the username password, we can push the configuration, get the configuration, and we can execute certain commands. Now all these labs again with respect to IOS-XE, we are going to see in upcoming video. Using Ansible, what are the terms we have? So the terms that we need to learn are the playbook, inventory, the YAML, obviously the data model is YAML, the Ginger to ad hoc commands, templates, etc. Now when we go and do the lab, you'll find that we are going to run the Ansible playbook, and then obviously we have our file. The file we are going to save or create as YML extension, and then uh, as per our inventory we are going to execute the playbooks, correct? So you will see in the lab, and that all these things will be very much clarified in the lab, in upcoming lab. You'll understand more and more. So here you can see that you have the ansible.cfg file. This also I will show you that how this CFG look like when we'll do the lab. It is there in the ITC slash Ansible slash Ansible dot configuration, where you have the configuration related default setting, and if you want to do certain change, you can do that change, but you should know that what changes you want to do. Likewise, we are going to create our own inventory as well. So inventory of devices where I may have routers, switches, and then certain variables related to routers and switches. So this also you will see in the lab section. We have so many inbuilt modules, and we can write our own modules as well. Correct. So here you can see the number of modules and increasing with release. So 2.4 has something 465. 2.7 has 671. So these modules are getting increased. Now if you want to simply execute the command, we have this ad hoc commands as well that we can go and run. But what we are going to do is we are going to run the playbook. Okay, then we have the concept of playbook. uh, this is actually important because the playbook that we are going to execute, they have the YAML extension, and we'll see we have so many examples to understand. So we'll go and check the contents of the playbook, and once you run it, you'll find the playbook has certain areas, and then you have the task defined inside the playbook. It will run and it will give you the output. We have Jinja 2 template as well. Now this Jinja 2 template further enhance the modeling capability, including native conflictlets. Jinja 2 templates have access to the Ansible variables and implement many filters and tests. That's the key actually. So we have the variable inside the Ansible, and to simplify the variables and call, we are using Jinja 2 template. Okay, and again you can see the example here you have in the right hand side. All right, so these are the basics related to Ansible, and this slide you can think as a summary slide. So when you have the Ansible program, you can see that you have the Ansible, you can define the host. Obviously, you have the Ansible.cfg file, and then you can create your task inside the playbook. So you want to check the iOS interface configuration, n number of YAML file or configurations I have that I can go and do it. We'll see in the upcoming session. So how I break this Ansible 3.4 section is that first of all there is one video, that upcoming video, where you will learn that how you can install these inside CentOS. So I will go to the Ansible main website. There you can go and check the process to install it over various operating system. For example, you will see over CentOS. And in next recording, I'll show you the actual 3.4 lab where I will run these playbooks with respect to IOS-XE inside the GNS3. Okay, so since both of the videos are informative, first one is that you can go and check other aspect as well, other operating system as well. So you can go and install it. You will learn some basics about how to install it. And next, obviously, we'll go and do it in the iOS-XE device. So go and watch two videos, two upcoming lab videos. The second one is very much relevant to section 3.4. You can go to the following link and you will get the instruction that how you can install the Ansible. So let me log in to this particular site. Let me open this URL and let's see how we can install. No login required for this particular site, means you don't need username and password. Simply you can go and open the URL. Once you open that, you can see here that we have the installation guide. Inside that installation guide, you can see that we can install it over various Linux versions like Red Hat, Debian, CentOS, macOS, etc. It is very important to note that currently Ansible can be run from any machine with Python version 2.7 or 3.5 and higher installed. Windows isn't support for the control node. So any Linux machine who having the Python version more than 2.7 or 3.5, they can run the Ansible. There is no problem. And you can see here, say step by step, you can go and check for different Linux flavors like Fedora, uh, Red Hat, CentOS, all these things. You can see that how you can install it. So I can go, I can do sudo yum install Ansible, because in our workstation in our lab we have CentOS. The easiest way to install nowadays is to use the pip command. So let me go down and show you that pip command as well. You can see preferred way Ansible in the Mac OS is the pip command. So we can use pip pip to install it if we are using Mac OS. Most of the time people nowadays are using Mac OS, so you can install that with the pip command, no problem. Let me scroll down so you can see other important informations as well. All right. Solaris and Arc and Slackware. So all these options are there. Just visit that particular URL and then you can see all those things. So since we are using the CentOS and already I have installed that Ansible, so we can go and use that. But anyways, let me show you that how you can go and install over CentOS. Mostly nowadays people are using macOS, so there also, even if other flavors are there, you can Fedora or other, you can see the installation, how you can install it. So here I am inside the CentOS. You can see the release, CentOS Linux version 7, CentOS Fedora core, like this, and how you can install Ansible, although it is already installed here, but we can use install Ansible. Okay, this is the way that you can go and install it. So while you are installing it, it's very important that you check the process and all. Transaction check succeed, running update. Now you can see that Python 2.7, the Ansible version also we can go and check, that is 2.4, the latest one. And what are the other things we have here, we can see. So if I go up, it is installing the package. If I scroll down, you can see the Python packages 2.4.1 and all the dependency and the requirements. Done. So now what I can do here, I can go and check Ansible and say version 2.4.2. We have the configuration file here, the configuration module, the location. You can see the user library Python 2.7 site package Ansible, and related information we have. Even if you want to know more about this, you can always go to Ansible and help, that you can go and check whatever parameters we have related to Ansible and other stuffs. And finally, if you want to run, you can go and run Ansible Playbook and we can see the version. I should give Playbook and the version. Alright, so we are running 2.4.0. How to install it's very easy. You can go and refer the site, and once it is installed, then we can go and play around with this. This is the second lab video where we are going to do the Ansible lab with respect to iOS-XE. So let's do it. Now before doing that, you should install the Ansible inside this operating system. This is the operating system. This is the Ubuntu operating system. And now if you want to check that, you can go and check the OS release. So here you can see that this is the Ubuntu one, and you should go and install the Ansible. So I can go and install the Ansible like this because I have already installed it. So it is showing that it is installed. Now what about the lab? Here you can see the lab section. I have my automation where I have installed the Ansible, and then I have on CSR device where I want to check the configuration. This CSR device that we have here, I can go and I can show you the interface IP brief. Here you can see that we have the IP address, and I should have reachability. So I should go and ping. That is also there. Great. So what I have done for this demo purpose, for this lab purpose, I created one folder called Ansible, and inside that you can see that I have certain program. So first of all, I want to show you my inventory. That's the host file. Now here you can see that the host file, I have switches, I have Cisco devices, Cisco variable. Now, I already enabled the SSH capability inside my CSR with the username admin and password admin. The device host name is CSR and the IP is this, correct? So this is very much done. Now the first lab I want to show you is the how you can go and change the host name. Now here is the program. It's a very simple one. It will go and check the host as a Cisco. Here you can see host as a Cisco where I have the CSR. Gather the fact false. The connection is local. What you want? I will go and change the host name from CSR1 to R1 new. So how we can run this program? We can go and run the Ansible Playbook. Say Ansible Playbook. And what's the playbook name? Say change host name YML. And then I can give the inventory that we have as host. So now here you can see that playbook is running, and here you can see that play, and then the task. What is the task? Change the host name. CSR. So it is changing the host name. This is okay. Change equal to 1. That means it is successful and it changed the name to 1 because change counter is 1. Now because already the name has changed, so now the change is 0. Correct? Now if I go to the CSR and if I press enter, you can see the name from CSR1, it got changed to R1, R new. Correct? So that was the configuration, and here we have taken just one small example related to configuration. Let me show you a few more examples. So for example, if you want to gather the fact, then again you can go and do the Ansible. So let me run the playbook facts, and then I want to use host. Now you can run this program. You will not see much information because this is executed and is done. But suppose if you want to see more and more information, so you can go and check the verbose output. Now I'm running the verbose output, and you're seeing this output in this format where you have the output that is actually very difficult to read, but you can see the output here. You can go and use 2 times V as well and 3 times V as well. So in this case, what we can do that we can go and check what options we have related to checking the output. So now when I have used V 3 times, then you can see that the output we can read is very much that we can understand as well, correct? So here you can see that the Ansible facts, the IPv4 address, that's correct. These are the IPv4 addresses, and IPv6 we are not using. Then I can go scroll down. You can see the other informations as well. The file system info, the IPv4 address to the gig1 interface. Then I can scroll down and you can see the protocol, line protocol, then gig2 interface. Now we are getting the output in the correct format. Okay. Now how you can check these help? So you can go to Ansible doc and then you can check the help function. Here you can see this help is actually a small -h. Now you can see that you have multiple options here as well. So here you can see that verbose. Like that you can go and verify. If you are looking for the version of Ansible, you can go and check the version as well, that is 2.9.10, and the Python version also you can see here. All the locations also you can go and check. Okay, so these are very important aspects related to Ansible that we are checking and verifying here. And if I go back again, so we have checked our lab related to change the host name and gather facts as well. We have the host file as well. Then I have two more. One is to see the version. So let me show you the version command. If you want to check the version again, I can go and run the Ansible Playbook version for hosts and VVV, correct? So now you will get the output, and here you have this output. This is simply telling show version in the device, and then you have the output that we are getting in the show version output. Okay, great stuff. Now finally, I have one more program. I want to show you that if you want to do certain configuration changes as well, you can do it. So for example, I have SNMP program that will go and run these things. I'll do small edit here so you can understand how you can do the edit as well. I can go here and I can go to this particular file, that is snmp.yml, and these commands that we are giving here as a Ansible public and private, I can go and give my public and my private. Let's save this and then we'll run this program. So this Ansible Playbook and then the snmp.yml, we are giving host and enter. So now what is happening that it will go and do the snmp related configuration, that is one time. Now if I go back to my CSI device and if I go and check show run section snmp, you can see that my public, my private, correct? So this is the way that you can go and execute the command. You can see that we have done various operations. So for example, doing the configuration, changing the host name, checking the version, the facts, etc. So it's easy to use, and this particular playbook, as per our host, whatever list of hosts we have, it will go and execute all the command to all the hosts in the parallel manner at the same time. Okay. All right, so let's stop here. For rest of the section, I have created 5 videos. You can go and check these videos. They are completing the sections related to loop controls, conditions, and one last that is related to NetConf. So please go complete these 5 videos, and then we are completing our section and subsection 2.8. In this lab example, I'll show you that with help of Python, we can go and enable features such as NXAPI, such as interface VLAN capabilities inside the Nexus operating system. Great. So let me quickly go to the lab. We have our lab, and this lab is actually connected with two of the Nexus switch. So automation server and 2 Nexus switches. They are connected with the management IP addresses. Now, first of all, I just wanted to show you that that we have the CLI version, means that we can use Paramiko functions, and with help of Paramiko function, how I can log into the device, and then I can enable any of the feature. So here you can see that in the program, first of all, importing the Paramiko, and then in the host list, I have to host Nexus, SV1, SV2, etc. Username and password means we can have a long list of devices. What we want to do here with this Python 2.7 actually, but if you want, we can run this in Python 3. That's the new version as well. We need to do a small modification, like in print, you have to give the close brackets. Okay. But rest of the configuration is very much same that you have in the 2 versus 3. Even we have some online tools as well. We can convert our Python program into to Python program 3 as well. So what this program will do, it will log in to the device one by one. We'll go to the cell, it will write conf t. Actually, we're printing the output as well. So whatever configuration that it is going to do, we can see here in the CLI in the result output as well. I'll go ahead to Python 2 and then run this. So Nexus OS-XE NXAPI, then Nexus 2, NXAPI is done. Now if you go and check show feature and include enable, see NXAPI is enabled here. And now here also you can see that NXAPI is enabled. You can see interface VLAN is also enabled. So if I can remove that interface VLAN, I don't want that. So now you can see NXAPI feature enable. That's the CLI way that we can log into the device and then the SSH to the device, and then it will go and do the configuration. Now, what about if we want to use the REST API to do the configuration related to interface VLAN? Correct? So for that, again, if you want to do the REST API type of communication, obviously you should enable the feature NXAPI first. Suppose if NXAPI feature is not enabled, that means the communication will not happen and it will not work. So before going there, let me show you the program that we have, because this time we are going to use a REST API. So I have given the host, that's the host number 2, but I can go and give the first host as well in this list. Either you, oops, I need to use nano and then the enable. Either we can go and use the IP addresses, or we can go and use the host, means the DNS name that we have. I want to give 51 and then seems to be correct. Okay, so we have 51 here in the list, and then I want to give 52 as well. 98.1.1.52. Okay, and then before running that program, I just wanted to show you. So we have done good amount of study related to DNA APIs and SDWAN APIs in our previous section. Here also you'll find the method will be the same. We are importing the request URL lib because we don't want the unnecessary certificate messages. And then we are logging to the host one by one. We are running the API. Here you can see API mo AAA login JSON. Actually, first of all, we want to do the authentication. Then with the post method, if we have any post, if we have any payload, we want to write something. Correct. So what it is doing actually, it is enabling the interface VLAN enable. That's the configuration that we want to add here. The hierarchy is API mo sys JSON. Correct. Simply enable the interface VLAN. If any problem, it will throw an error which is not enabled. Okay, so enable, yep, I can see here, and I just wanted to check that it is there on top. I should have to, okay. So I can see that I have to, but I should give the quotation here. Let me quickly edit these. So 51 and 52. In 51, remember, we haven't given the next, we haven't enabled the NXAPI, correct? So I just wanted to run the program now. Let's run this Python enable NXAPI. Oops. Clearly it is showing throwing one error that it's not working. You can see 51 and 52. And it's not going to the other device. So just to show you this quickly, I can go here and I can do enable as the feature NXAPI. Okay, let's run one more time. See, authentication is happening. It is going to first and going to second. Now, if we want to add a condition in our program that if the first run is, means for the first device, the run is unsuccessful, go to second. What is happening that it is taking that first device having some issue, so it is coming out from the program. So we can go and add exceptions like try, okay, try method, so catch the error and then go to the next. So there are various methods that we can go and add the exceptions there. But now you can see that yes, the feature has been enabled. So since we have the NXAPI, with help of NXAPI, we have enabled the other feature called the interface VLAN. In this lab, I'm going to show you that how we can go and create different type of VLANs with Ansible Playbook, VLAN 10, 20, and 30. One of the VLAN will define inside the program. One of the VLAN will define inside the program as a variable. One VLAN we are going to call from the external variable. So three different styles of VLAN, how we can create. Let me quickly go to the program. Here you can see that Ansible Playbook programs that is starting with dash dash dash, and then name. We are giving the name VLAN creation playbook host all. I'll show that inventory. In inventory, we have two switches where we have the username and password as well. The other fact not. So this is just that we are starting the program. Then we are defining the variables. So variable, one of the variable for VLAN 20, that is app. One of the variable we are calling from outside. So in outside, we have one program called external var. Let me show you that as well. So inside, you can see external var. What is there? VLAN 30, ID 30, name DB. So that means VLAN.id is 30, VLAN.name is DB. So we have a web app and DB. This type of VLAN names that we have, and then we can see the inventory as well. Inventory, we have the connection local, username and password. This is for NX OS. You can see only one switch here we have in the inventory. Great. So let's go back to the main program. And in the main program, let's create the VLAN. So you can see now it's very logical and structured. So task we are defining that VLAN 10 we are defining here itself. So VLAN ID 10, name web, transport NXAPI. For 20, we are calling the variable in the program itself. So here you have the variables. That means the VLAN 20 dot ID will call 20. VLAN 20 dot name will call app. Okay, again, transport is NXAPI. And then we are calling one external variable that we have as the external variable in the same folder. VLAN ID is a VLAN 30.id, etc. Correct. Now, if you want to create any other as well, it's easy. Correct. So if I can go here and add one more here, say 40, and give 40, I can give this as a 40, but I have to go and define a variable. This is my internal var. So this also I can copy here and paste here, and it should give the correct indentations. So here I can give 40, here I can give 40, app new, just changing the name, correct? So like that, we can go and define our programs as well. Okay, let's run the program. So if we go here, and now I haven't copy pasted that program. First of all, I'll show that let's create the VLAN 10, 20, and 30, and then we'll go and add one more 40 in our list. So we can go and run the Ansible Playbook. I can include to inventory, and then our program, correct? Our program name is create VLAN. So let's do this, create the VLAN YAML. Now we are running our playbook, and you can see that ensure VLAN 10 exists. Then it should go and check 20, should go and check 30 as well. Let's see, show VLAN, and we have nothing at the moment. Let's check the playbook. Okay, so you can see here that 3 changes has been happened, and NXOS1 should have 10, 20, and 30. Correct? Web app and DB. That's great. Now I'm going to show you that with help of conditions, how you can put the condition. That means that how you can better utilize the with condition with certain loops as well. So for example, say you want to give some comments for Ethernet 1 to 5 associated with web, the VLAN 10 associated with Ethernet 1 to 10. So you can see I have range of interfaces where I want to put the comments. This can be easily done with help of condition. And here in the diagram, you can see all these interfaces. I'm going to put the command. So I'm going to call some sort of loop or some sort of condition where it can be easily done. So irrespective of 1 to 5 interface or 1 to 200 interfaces, doesn't matter, because anyways we are going to use the programming feature. The for example, some condition, if that condition will met, then only it will come out of loop. Otherwise that loop will go on, and it will execute those certain commands over that period of time, over that period of condition, until that condition matches, until that loop will go on. This is the reference link. Here you can see, you can go to this particular link and learn more about these conditions. Let me show you this thing in the lab. We are inside Ansible. For this, first of all, what I will do, I will create the external variable. So I have external variable, and obviously that is the YAML. So in this particular external variable, what I want to do, I want to assign the physical interfaces. So let me give that physical interfaces. These physical interfaces, what physical interfaces I have? So let me give the value, say Ethernet 1/1, and that will be say VLAN 10. Likewise, I have the interfaces. So what I can do here, I can simply copy and paste all these values. So let me paste these values, and from E11 until E15 I have. So here I need to edit this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So I have 2 and 1. Like that, I'll create a variable for VLAN 20 and VLAN 30. So let me create that also. This I will go and edit. Say for example, this is 6. This VLAN is 20. So 6 to 10 we have other variable. So let me copy and edit that also. So now I have 6 to 10. Let me go up and here I'll make this 7, 8, 9 and 10. Now next what I will do, I have variable from interface 11 to 15. That will be VLAN 30. So we'll edit that also. This is my 30. I'll copy this and now you can see that the only one line we have, but we can copy and paste. That is also one feature we have in the program, that all the time you don't need all the new statements and all the new variables. Once you know that okay, you have this block that I have defined for these tasks, same thing you can reuse. Even the program commands also we can reuse. So now I have all these things. Let me save this. So this is my external variable from 1 to 5, 6 to 10, and then 11 to 15. Yeah. So now we have external variable. Now I will go and create my main program. What I want to put the comments to interface, and then we need to create the main program where I will do all those comments and everything. So let's start the playbook. The name of the playbook, this playbook for setting the interface description. Obviously I should give one space here. Now we'll start the program from the same level. This is applicable for all the hosts. Gather the facts, we'll do no here. Same level, you can see I'm working on the same level. So the files, the variable files, what is the name of the variable? I should check this, or I should copy and paste. This variable file name is external var. So I will go back and I will give the name under this external var. Obviously I should give this also as the label. Alright, so we have defined the variable as well. Now I will create one block. So for example, interface 1/1 to 1/5, and then same thing I'll copy and paste for other interfaces with some modification. So let's do this. I should go to the task under the same level. You can see the name and the task. So let's do that, task, and then I should give colon here, otherwise it will throw error. Then let's start the task. So what's the name of the task? Name of the task is set the physical ports description for web. So we have web app and DB. Likewise we are going to do under the name NXOS underscore interface, and for that we can refer the link that we have checked in the PPT I have shown you. So now let's go under this label again. We are following the label. So here I can give interface, you can see interface
And then what's the name under this? So item dot name, close this. Alright, under same label that we have the interface, I can give the description. So give that description as well. And is this description related to web VLAN? Alright, now I can give the transport. So once we'll do all these things, then for other interfaces also I am going to use the same structure. Now what I want here, I want this is with the items, what items it has. It should have the physical interface, so physical interfaces, and then I can close the braces. We're almost done. The only thing I have to give here is the condition. So up to which program this loop will run? This loop, this conditional statement will run till, so I'll define here, till the item value or item VLAN matches 10. That's it. So here you can see only thing that we need to identify here that our label should be matching, otherwise it will throw an error. Okay. So here you can see if I want I can put some comments as well, say with items till how long it will run. Here you can see the condition. So I have physical interfaces that will come inside the variable and it will run up to, it will match, okay, up to E11 VLAN 10, E12 VLAN 10, like that. So it will match up to that point. So likewise, what I can do now, that I can go ahead and I can create the same thing for 20 and 30. So let's do that. The only thing I need to change here, for 30, this will be dB, and small edit I need to do here. So this will be dB. Here it is 20 and here it is app. Likewise, here this will be app. So once I'll do up to this point, you can understand that I should follow the label. So you can see that name, we have here the name value. It should be under the name. So this label, you can see this is not matching. I can go back. Now this is okay. Then interfaces, then description, all those stuffs are okay. Say width, you can see width, that's okay. When condition, simply I need to adjust this name, and that's the thing here. Whenever you are doing this programming, your label should be matched, otherwise it will throw an error. So now we are very much good with this particular portion. Let's run the playbook. So I can run this playbook, comments and the input inventory. Where files is not a valid attribute for a play. So we'll see it. And if I go up, Small modification needed here. This is actually var. Okay, so let me insert. This is actually vars underscore files. So now this is correct. So you can see if any small spelling mistake also, it will start throwing an error. Let's see. Now it is running the playbook, you can see, and it is setting the comments or description over the interfaces E11, 12, 13, 14, then 16 to 110, 11 to 15. Set the physical port description. So you can see the web thing is happen. Then the this yellow color, the app is happening, and then finally you can see the DB is happening. Although they have started the scanning from the first variable, but whatever variable we are or whatever task that we are calling, it is going there and doing or setting that things. So if I go to show run and then interface E1/1 to 5, you can see all those comments. Then 6 to 10, all app, then 11 to 15 dB. So this completes our task. Let's stop here. In this task, we are going to create multiple VLAN interfaces. Over the VLAN interfaces, we have to assign the IP address, description, subnet mask, etc. And we are going to use the loop condition. So we have one with condition. With that, we are going to execute the task. Here you can see that we have the VLANs 10, 20, 30. Over that, I am going to assign or put the IP addresses. How I'm going to achieve this task is that first of all, I create some variables. So I'm going to create external variable with these parameters, and then these external variables I will call inside the main program. If you want to take the reference, then you can go to these links and you can check the Nexus OS interfaces, Nexus IP interfaces, and you'll get nice explanation about what we are going to do now. So let me log into the Ansible. So I'm inside Ansible. Let's create the variable file first. That will be the external variable for say VLAN.yaml. And here we'll start the variable thing with 3 dashes. I can give VLAN interfaces. Then I have to give a name. Name and the VLAN is say 10, comma, description. This is my web VLAN, comma. What is the IPv4 address we have? Say 10.1.1.1. And then we can give the mask. That will be 24. Same thing I'm going to do for VLAN 20 and VLAN 30. So what we can do, either we can do this over Notepad and we can paste, or here also we can go and edit. Level should be matched, so that's why this and this lines should be down in the same place because we are in the same label. Give this as a VLAN 20, description is say app, then IPv4 address is 20, here it is 30, this is DB, then we have VLAN 30, and then we can give the same label space. So now I have my external variable. I can write and quit. I'll copy this external variable to use in the main program. The main program is say interface VLAN IP dot YML. Insert, start the program. I'll start with say name, and the name is VLAN interface configuration playbook. So this is my playbook. Now inside this, in the same label, I can give this host as all, and then we'll give gather fact. No. Finally, I have to give the var location. The var file name is this external var Vlan YAML. So we are very good with the creation of the variable or calling of the variable. Now we have to create the task. So I'll go here, I will create the task. So I'll give the name here in the same label. So name is admin up the VLAN interface. And here I can add the comment as well. So let me add the comment. Say the task will be for admin up and interface name, like that. All right, no problem. We'll continue. And then in the same label, NXOS interface. Below this, we'll go to the next label. So I'm going to define some interfaces and other parameter. So interface is in terms of variable, that is the item name. All right, and then what other thing in the same label? So in the same label, I can give the description. Description is item dot description. All right. In the same label again, I have to define the admin state. Admin state is up. Anyways, if we found any problem, is if the execution having any problem, then it will throw an error. Once it will throw an error, then we'll go and correct it. So far, so good. You can see that I have created one task. This particular task will call the interfaces and then it will give the description, but how it will execute to the different interfaces. So for that, I have to give the condition. So my condition is with condition, with items. What are the items I have in the same label? I will define the items. VLAN interfaces, and we are done. So we are done with one of the tasks. Now the second thing what I want to do here is create one more task to assign the IP addresses. I should have the same label and then I can give IPv4 addresses configuration for the VLAN interfaces. Correct? Should check the label. So here in this particular label, NXOS underscore IP underscore interface, I can go down and under the interfaces, I can give I can call the function like we have called in the above task, that is the item dot name, and then I have to give the IP address as well. So first of all, give the version. Version is v4. Give the address. Address is again inside the variable item. So item dot IPv4. Close these braces, and then finally we have to give the mask. So mask will be 24. That will be item dot mask, and let's close this. So why this mask is showing this? Because we have double quotes here. Remove one. Now it is okay. Finally, from where it is going to execute all these things. So then I have to give with items under the same label. And what with items we have? It should have the Vlan underscore interfaces. Close the quotes. So now we are done with the program. The only thing I want to match here that this with statement that I have should have the same label. So if I go on the top, yeah, this name and NXOS, they are in the same label. Interfaces should be in the same label. Rest of the things are okay. Now, if you see here, you don't find any problem, it's okay. So first task will run and it will tell, okay, what's the name, what's the description, administrate up. The second task, what it will do, that the name of the interface is IPv4 address mask, IPv4 it should be, like that, and it will execute. So let us go and execute this particular program. Before execution, if I go and check show IP interface brief, I can see the IP addresses are already there, so they should not be there. Maybe some old program is running. So what I'll do, I'll go to interface VLAN 10, no IP address, interface VLAN 20, no IP address, interface VLAN 30, no IP address. We'll see. Now you can see nothing is there. So let's go here and save this program and run the playbook. So Ansible Playbook is interface VLAN, the input is inventory. Run this. Now you can see this name and issue here because they are not in the same label. So it should be inside the same label, otherwise these things will come. So where it is, IPv4 address configuration for the VLAN interface, here it has the problem. You can see here this particular place, it should go back. So let me go back here. Now it is okay. Let's try and run one more time. Then we can see NXOS IP interface. Here the label is not correct. So let's see NXOS IP address, and yes, that's also correct. That's also true because this will also go one space back. So you can see the label should match, otherwise it will keep throwing an error. VLAN interface configuration playbook. So let me correct all these labels and we'll run this program. Alright, so once we have done the correction, let's save this and run this program one more time. Now you can see that it is running fine, and you can see the output here, the interfaces and the description IPv4. So here you can see this execution. This is okay. Now if I go here to the NXOS and if I check show IP interface brief, you can see that all the IP addresses and the interfaces are up and running. If I check the VLAN 10, you can see here the VLAN 10 name web. If I go and check interface VLAN 20, oops, I can go and check show run interface VLAN 20 and description no shutdown. For VLAN 10, I think the description is something like that. We need to check the program itself and the variable itself. So if I go and check VI and the external variable, So VLAN 10 description web VLAN and all these things seems correct only. 10, 20, 30 is showing correct. Maybe some old program is there. So let me do one thing. Interface VLAN 10, no description, and let me go and run the program, or let's see. So that's the beauty of the program, that we can run all the time. There's no problem on that. So it is telling, okay, description. See, the description is web. And now here, if I go and check show run interface VLAN 10, now it is okay. All right. So we are good. We have successfully executed the program. Let's stop here.
I'm going to show you one lab related to Nexus and NetConf. Let me show you the program that we have here. You can see that we are going to use the NCC client, and we are going to use the NetConf methodology just to verify that I have the list of Nexus switches 198.168.1.51 and 52, from where I just wanted to see the VLAN list. So this program is something that will go and use the netconf method, and it will go get the information. So this will get the information in the raw format. I will show you the raw data as well. But once we have the raw data, from that raw data, I will go and filter the VLAN ID, VLAN name, VLAN state, and then we'll print those information with list of the devices that we have. Okay, so this is the lab that we are going to perform here. And let me show you this here. I have my automation server, Ansible automation server. Let me see that the program that we have. So the program that we have related to VLAN, it should be, and let me do one thing. Let me go and copy and paste here. So let me go and create the program here. So I can go and create nano show vlan.py. Oops, that was not intentional. Let me go out from here. Okay, and okay, so what I want, vlan.py, and let me paste this and Control O, Control X, and then we can use Python show vlan.py, run this program. Now, while running this program, it is showing some error. Let's see that what error it has. Show VLAN, some username, some IP, some diff problem error. All right, let me go and do the small edit. Error name or services not known, etc., etc. Even we can go and check the line number as well. So it is telling that line number 24, and inside line number 24, something related to the username and password. Let me do one thing. Let me shorten the list here. I just want to take one at the moment. Let me save this program, and again I have to change this. So let me do one thing. Let me run this program from my local system. Let's see. Same program. I'm running from my Windows, and I have my automation system as well. Now it is telling everything is okay. Now let me go here and let me do some changes. So I'll go and add two IPs. Should be, the other IP should be reachable, correct? 1.52. I can see that other IP is not reachable, and that's the reason it is not coming up. But one IP, that is 198.168.1.51, is reachable. You can see that VLAN 1, active VLAN 10, VLAN 20, etc. So program is working well and fine, good and fine. What I'll do, I'll quickly go log into the device. I'll create one more VLAN there, 1.51, and let me go ahead and create, say, VLAN 30 name test1 no shirt, and then let's run the program one more time. We should have one more VLAN here. Seems that it has some error. Seems the device is in a stuck mode. If I exit, let's see. Let's go back here and you can see the live problems as well. Still it is throwing errors, this particular program, and you can see the error as well. You can pause the recording, you can see that the error password and show VLANs, etc. etc. Anyways, let's go back here and show VLAN. Let me check the VLAN. So I can see 10, 20, 30. That's good. And then I can exit from here. Let's go back. Oops, not this one. Let's run the program one more time. And okay, so seems that I have added one more IP here. Let me remove this IP from here and let's run. Now you can see 10, 20, 30 as well. And let's do one more check. So if I log back, if I do the dynamic changes, already I'm in the switch. I'll go and create VLAN 4.0. I'll give the name as test2 and no shut means just want to activate this. And again, if I go back here and try to run this program, so it should give the result, correct? Yes, so you can see that it's working fine. And name is, didn't take the name. Okay, but anyways, you can see that it is working fine. And after doing end, its name is going there. But the way that program is working, reacting, it's okay. And I will upload this particular program file as well. So you can go and have a look in this program and the method procedure that has been used here. All right, let's stop here.